Hi, Tim from Fair Play Now, and it's English National Lockdown Day 2, 6th November 2020, and today hasn't been too bad at all. It's been pretty busy actually, not with work, but we've had a brand new member into the extended family. My mum's just got a new dog, arrived today. She actually sort of decided to get a dog, I think, during the last lockdown as a bit of company, but it's taken a lot of time and jumping through a lot of hoops. But today has finally been the day when she's got this dog, and some of the hoops you have to sort of jump through. There's all sorts of things that go on. People have to come out and inspect your home and garden and make sure everything's sort of tickety-boo. And this is if you're getting a rescue dog at any rate, which this one is. And yeah, her name is Lucky, or going to be Lucky. It's called Emery at the moment, but for some reason my mum wants to change the name, don't know why. But anyway, one of the things that the inspectors wanted doing is just a little bit of upgrading to the fencing in part of the garden and a new gate. So I was busy doing that today. So it's quite knackering. Had to sort of do a couple of fence posts and a panel and a gate and a few other bits, but it's all done. So the garden is now all ready to go for good old Emery, or Lucky. So that was what I was doing for the bulk of the day, and I'm home now in the evening and pretty knackered, but quite happy having done a good day's work really. So one thing I've noticed during this second lockdown is that the roads are a lot busier than during the first lockdown. And I remember, during the first one, I was out on my bicycle cycling down an A road, which is normally pretty busy around here, and I could cycle for a good minute, 2 minutes without any cars at all coming along, and all the roads were sort of very, very quiet, whereas this time they're a lot more busy. So that's a definite difference between now and the first lockdown. And also, one thing I've noticed is that people on the roads just don't seem to give a sod. I mean, you're driving along and people will just pull out right in front of you, without care in the world. And that's only something I've noticed. Well, I've noticed an increase of that during the whole COVID situation. So what's going on there, I really don't know. But I do think it's affected people's kind of the way they regard other people, maybe strangers. Maybe it's a case that whereas before, pre-COVID, you were like just another person. Now you're, I suppose, a potential biohazard to them. So they just don't give a toss. I'm a bit of a negative observation, but that's definitely noticed. Maybe you've noticed. If you have, leave a comment in the comments section below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm right or if I'm just imagining things. But anyway, that's just a little observation. But generally, day 2 of the lockdown here in England hasn't been too bad. Sort of tired but happy. So I haven't had too much time to look at the news today, but just a couple of things I've noticed is that pushback against this lockdown is a lot higher than on the first one. There's a lot more people kind of going against it and arguing against it. And there was a interview on Talk Radio with Julia Hartley-Brewer and David Davis, the MP, and he was saying how the way the statistics are presented by the government, well, Basically what he says is bogus coronavirus modelling is a scandal, and I quite agree. And in this interview they go on about how the facts and figures they presented in the presentation last Saturday when they announced the lockdown, the second lockdown, how it is really a scandal, how those figures were very quickly debunked. And yeah, I quite agree, and it makes you wonder why more people aren't sort of calling for them to go back on the calling the lockdown and just telling them to not do it, because the figures have been proven to be wrong. But there you go. Another bit of pushback I've seen is the students at Manchester University. Yeah, Manchester University students, they were kind of penned into the university with all this metal fencing, which they went out and pulled down. And I think the university authorities have sort of backed down and said they will be removing the fencing now. And another interview I saw on Talk Radio, and by the way, you want to subscribe to Talk Radio, they really do give some very non-mainstream media narrative, alternative narrative and viewpoints. So yeah, if you look at these recommendations and subscribe to their videos and their channel, should I say, well worth doing. But this interview that I saw was with a gym owner, or a couple of gym owners, who seem to be, as an industry, pushing back against the lockdowns. Actually, yeah, as an industry they seem to be pushing back against the lockdowns, which is heartening to see. Unfortunately, one lady gym owner was arrested, but the main guy that they're talking to on the interview is also pushing back, but probably with a bit more savvy, and he's basically saying that Boris Johnson has got no right to steal his livelihood away, which I heartily agree with. So yeah, it is heartening to see that there's more pushback against the second lockdown, and I think as the days go by, it's the pushback is going to get more and more and more, and I don't think they're going to be able to get away with really extending the second lockdown, and they certainly won't get away with bringing in a third lockdown at any point, I don't think, because they'll just then get massive pushback by that stage, I'd have thought. So, end of day, or nearly at the end of the year, day 2 of the English national lockdown. Going to have a very nice chicken and ham pie, homemade pie by my wife. Because that's been a good thing about all this. We've been having a lot more home cooking, and looking forward to that tonight, and a couple of beers. So with that, I think I'll sign off on day 2 and talk to you again tomorrow. So Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.